without any further ado, let's move on to our next guest. I'm delighted and privileged to be speaking to former, it says in Manchester United and England midfielder.
What? Wait.
No. He played for Manchester United. Maybe not the first team. He's first team coach now at Wigan. He was involved in the under-21s at Manchester United. He's now first team coach at Wigan.
Okay.
But more importantly,
yes,
he joins us now on the line. Tom, good evening.
Is he?
Evening, guys.
How are you, sir?
My guy, how are you, bro?
Yeah, no, good, thank you. Not too bad.
Tom, Coley was slagging you off earlier.
I was.
He was. He said he was in the under-21s with you.
Yeah.
So you never passed to him.
You never did.
Never passed to him, he said.
I'm joking.
Tom,
how are you, bro?
How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, man.
Tom, just before we move on, what's happening? You've left Manchester United. You're now Wigan first team coach. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, no, I think obviously it's a sort of a natural progression from working within an academy, which the last 2 years have been excellent for me and a big sort of learning journey, appreciating the coaching side of it. But as you mentioned earlier, I'm still getting the bit of training and competitiveness from playing. But yeah, I think the natural progression is to get into a first team, and I'm grateful for the opportunity at Wigan to be one of the first team coaches with the first couple of weeks is what's with an exciting squad so far.
Yeah, listen, bro, I know that, we've done a few courses together, and I know that you're a very keen coach. What I didn't see was the fact you're going to go to Manchester United and play with the 21s and coach in that way. See the way you was coaching, is it better to be able to play and coach rather than just sitting on the sideline and coach? Because I know that you was on the pitch whilst you were coaching as well, weren't you?
Yeah, no, I think it is tough at times if you're part of a session, but you're coaching as well. When you're trying to get your breath back and explain the next part of the session, it can be difficult. But I think for any players at the back end of your career, if coaching is something you fancy, fitting that role is sort of vital, really. To see all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on, and as I say, still get that little playing element when you still think you can play a bit. But equally, seeing what the next chapter is going to be like from a closer proximity.
You was one of the best players I've ever seen ping a ball from one end to the other, or turn a defending situation into attack with your nous on how to just ping a ball on the sixpence. Did anybody mirror that you saw when you was at Manchester United that could do the same thing?
You know what? I think the game's changed, to be fair.
Yeah.
In the last sort of probably 10 or 12 years, I don't think there's many players that look to do that. A lot of teams want to get in a sort of a build structure. And I think a lot of the academies from under 7s up to 18s, it's a lot of smaller size possessions. We
call it tiki-taka football now.
Whereas I guess when we were coming through,
there
was a lot more longer passes and trying to score as soon as you got the ball, whereas now people want the control and the possession more than trying to score straight away, kind of thing.
So Tom, tell us about how you came through a setup, and football evolves. It always has done, always will do. And you know, it tends to go full circle, and there'll be another time where maybe 4-4-2 comes back in, and maybe that style of football that you just discussed that I played under that might return. But in terms of the way you want to coach and what you want to do at Wigan, what is the style you would like the players to adopt?
No, I think it's a mixture. Like you say, I think nowadays you've got to be quite adaptable. Players have almost got to be comfortable in 2 or 3 different positions. A lot of managers sort of have a build-up shape and a defensive shape. So I think players now probably have to be more adaptable for sure. And at the minute, as one of the coaches, I'm just happy to do whatever the manager wants the rest of the team to do.
Yeah, listen, for me, there's always a place for the old school. If you can mix the two with the modern, it's a great combination, I think. And I think, do you know who kind of done that for me? Spain done it. They've changed their style.
They have changed their style.
They've adapted to a different style of play.
They're not tiki-taka now.
They're not tiki-taka.
No, they're not tiki-taka.
They're possession-based, but
it's
not as tiki-taka as it used to be. So there's a place for the old school that can merge with the new.
Tom, I think that's a great point that Coley's made, because I actually, when Pep first turned up at England, I was quite critical. I didn't enjoy watching City play. I think Pep's changed. Pep, there used to be
Adapted.
a keep the ball, and he used to pass and keep passing.
Bore off,
now there's a bit more urgency in areas to hurt teams with that pass or a couple of passes that can get in beyond a press. Has he had to adapt to the way the game has changed to him, or has he decided to do that? And how is football moving in that direction?
To be fair, I think whatever Pep does, everybody else tries to follow on 18 months down the line. But I think with the addition of Haaland up front, it gives a great second option. They want to keep possession, but as I mentioned, the signings of Haaland, Doku, a little bit more direct. Yamal, who are happy 1v1, and it's a little bit more direct than we're used to. So I think we are seeing a slight introduction again of a bigger number 9 and wingers that maybe aren't necessarily going to be cutting inside and keeping possession. Some are going to be happy to go on the outside again.
Yeah, I know. We could talk about this all day, Tom, but we don't
We
want to
can,
keep
Tom.
you. We don't want to talk. We can talk football all day.
We've got Tom until 1 a.m. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Anyway, let's talk about England, Tom, mate. Let's talk about England because, listen, me and you have done. We've played for England, and I don't want to rub that in your face, Jason Cundy.
No, all right, okay, all right. Okay.
But we had done the. I didn't do the business.
Yep.
Probably Tom did. But what do you think of the Euros and the campaign and the loss in the final?
Even though we've got to the final, I think game by game, it was quite a disappointing tournament. I know the end result, losing in the final, isn't that bad and isn't the end of the world, but I think if you look at the performances, especially against the types of opposition we were playing, it was pretty disappointing, to be fair, with the almost euphoria and confidence going into the tournament with the group of players that we've got at our disposal. I think it was a disappointing campaign, but obviously, as I mentioned, getting to the final is still a positive.
Yeah, disappointing, underwhelming. There's many different descriptions of how we played, but I felt, Tom, that, and you as an ex-midfielder might be able to help us out here. I felt that the problem that Southgate had was that he had Foden and Bellingham, who both play number 10, but very different number 10s. There's one more of an attacking number 10, one's a more creative number 10. And he wanted to get the two of them in the same team. And one, there had to be a sacrificial lamb. And unfortunately for us, it was Foden. And it never worked the first 3 games. But eventually we found the 3 at the back. How would you have set up if you want to play a 4-2-3-1? Has one of them got to drop deep? Have we got to see Bellingham play as an 8? Or do you leave one on the bench?
Well, I'd mentioned before the tournament, if we're playing a 4-2-3-1, I thought Gareth would have, especially against the teams in our group, I thought he would have played Bellingham a little bit deeper with Rice in the first couple of games.
That's what I meant alongside. That's what I meant alongside Rice.
The same thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and played Foden as the 10.
Yeah.
And potentially Gordon on the back of the season. And I think, like you meant, a lot of our issues as well is Harry Kane naturally drops deep, but Spurs before and at Bayern now, his wide players are happy to run in behind. Whereas if we have Foden on the left-hand side and Harry Kane's dropping short and Bellingham's in the 10, it's quite easy for the opposition's back 4 to not have that threat in behind. So I thought we maybe missed a trick with that. But as I say, even though we got lucky in a couple of games, we still managed to get to the final.
Yeah. When you look at it now, on hindsight, and say you're the next England manager coming in and you've got all those players at your disposal, how are you going to play them? Is there going to be anyone that drops to the bench? And is there anything that you would do different to what Gareth done?
Are you saying Tom Huddlestone could get the next England job? Is that what you're saying?
Might as well.
All right, okay. Tom, you're England manager, right? Coley's promoted you. You've got it.
What would you do different?
talkSPORT breaking news right now. Sell yourself to us and the rest of the list of millions.
You know what? I thought when we went to the 3 at the back, everybody seemed a little bit more comfortable. Bellingham and Foden behind Kane. I thought that worked quite well against Holland. And even though we didn't have a naturally left-footed centre back, I still thought the balance looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
I was surprised with the system in the final, and especially to see. Felt sorry for Bellingham stuck on the left wing. To be fair, I know in possession, Shaw bombed on a little bit and he could come inside, but out of possession, when he was left of that sort of free in behind Harry Kane, it was just didn't look as sort of smooth as it could have, I guess.
Yeah,
talkSPORT.
There you go.
That's
There you
it.
go. There you
That's
go.
the
There's
one.
the
That's the
breaking
one.
news. Yeah, Tom, I would have started with the same team, same shape. Gehi was outstanding. I think the back three picked itself. Starting Shaw as a wing back when he hasn't played. I think he played just over an hour since February. That's a lot of work for a wide man to get through, up and down, up and down. I'd have started Trippier, and I felt that what he got, if he managed to find a formula that wasn't perfect, but you got Bellingham and Foden in their better positions. You got Kane up top, and you also had Saka. The only player that really looked out of position for me was Trippier. Do you think Lamar was the problem? Do you think he concentrated too much on that? That's why he started Shaw?
Yeah, potentially. I think with that Jude's going to work his socks off as well, which is why I probably think he stuck him on the left out of possession. As you mentioned, I think defensively, Kieran Trippier's sound. Probably doesn't give England the natural balance what Luke Shaw does, but like you say, it could have been a case of Trippier starting for 60 minutes, and once the game opens up a bit and you've kept your more quiet for a little while, then Luke Shaw comes on with a little bit more energy, having not played for a while, to see the game out and hopefully, as I say, give us a little bit more balance down the left-hand side.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.